So I love a delicious, creamy musk. I love a soapy musk, not shampooy musks. And if you've been watching my series, you'll have already seen my kind of warm, kind of goldeny musks, my cool white musks, and my floral musks. But this time round, this is probably where my heart has lived for the longest time. There's some of my favourite perfumes. A lot of my signature scents have been what I would consider fruity musks. Loads of them are now discontinued, so you won't necessarily see them in here, but I will mention whenever there is a kind of crossover to the things that I have just absolutely loved in my life. But I love a fruity musk, and I think maybe it's partly to do with the fact that I think they smell really good on my particular skin. I think they blend really well with my skin a lot of the time, a good fruity musk, and my husband, whether he knows it or not, and possibly because when he met me, I was always wearing fruity musks. I very rarely wore anything that wasn't some kind of fruity musk, to be honest. And yeah, so it might be that, but I know he always loves me in a fruity musk. He will really nuzzle into me. He finds them quite sexy, and I think there's just something about that combination of delicious fruits and like a creamy, soapy, like clean skin kind of smelling musk. So I'm going to start with one that is like, to me, one of the purest smelling of all the things I've got here, in that this almost smells gourmand. It's got such a good blackberry note in it, and it's also got a vanilla, and the musk here is intensely creamy. So this is Philosophy Falling in Love. This is one of those perfumes that doesn't necessarily last a particularly long time on the skin, but lasts for days and days on clothing, and you can overspray it like a complete lunatic, and it will never become overwhelming. It's just, it genuinely almost smells gourmand, this one. If you told me there was whipped cream in here, I would believe you. But it's a really hardcore, creamy, beautiful musk. And a beautiful, not too tart, quite realistic blackberry, I think. So this one is actually quite easy to find. Compared to some of the other philosophies that I have, this is maybe the easiest to get hold of in the UK. It comes in all different types of bottles because I feel like this is such a popular one from Philosophy that they just will put it in like this one, which is a special Christmas edition. Exactly the same notes, exactly the same perfume, but in a different bottle. And I'm really happy to have this one because, as you can see, it's kind of iridescent, super cool. This, I mean, look, I have an actual dent in this perfume, and which, I mean, it's astonishing because this is a 120 ml bottle. But once I start going with this one, I can't stop. It's just delicious. So it's a really easy reach for me. I think it's just a fabulous perfume. The notes are pretty simple. They're listed as blackberry, vanilla, musk, jasmine, and lily of the valley. I personally don't get any jasmine or lily of the valley in this, I'm happy to say. All I get is musk, vanilla, blackberry. And like I said, if you told me there was like a little bit of whipped cream in here, I'd be like, oh, right, yeah. It might just be that this smells like a kind of almost like a chantilly cream version of a vanilla. But that blackberry is so juicy. And I'll just give a shout out, although it's far more difficult to find, to what I think of this as its twin sister, which is Unconditional Love. So Unconditional Love is really hard to find, which is why I'm not kind of doing it as a standalone here. I haven't even got the notes up. But I think this smells almost identical to Falling in Love, but instead of blackberry, it's got a really gorgeous raspberry. So it's a bit tartar, and a really natural smelling, juicy, yummy raspberry. And the raspberry in this smells almost identical to the raspberry note that you got in my old signature scent that I wore for about 16 years, which is called La Belle Zerici from the, it was Liberty Fizz from the Nina Ricci range. And that one was like tomato leaf and freesia and blackcurrant, I think, was in there as well, and raspberry. But the raspberry, it's almost like you take that raspberry and musk out of that perfume and just have it just on its own. And that's what Unconditional Love smells like. It's just almost perfect. Another one that's quite light, doesn't last very long, but it's just wonderful. I mean, it's hard to find. This one's easier. So there, I think for a lot of people, they're much of a muchness. Like you could wear either, like and be happy with either. But yeah, I mean, it's just a slightly tartar raspberry version of this delicious blackberry one. Oh, so perfect. Absolutely love falling in love. I did fall in love with it, and I'm unconditionally in love with the other one as well. All right. Okay, this one is one that's not an easy reach, but I felt like I couldn't talk about Fruity Musk without mentioning this. Some people really love this, some people really hate it. I'm someone who really loves the smell, but I find it slightly difficult to wear because it's a beast. And it is also quite floral, but this is when I get my big bottles, it's kind of hard to fit them in. So this is JLo and this is Miami Glow. So it's in my declutter bin because the last time I tried to wear it, I did struggle with it a little bit. I think the problem with this one is I do really like it, but I haven't really found the right time of year for me to wear this because I feel like this might be too strong for summer, for me personally. But it is a really interesting scent because it's got a really nice, noticeable pink grapefruit and passion fruit in it. It's also got a fair bit of orange blossom and coconut milk, which, along with the very heavy musk, I think is why this has that real soapy smell to it. And this is like soapy to the point where it's one step away from shampoo soapy, but it's still in that realm of a really good quality bar soap. This one is super strong and it lasts on me forever. And it's I really like the passion fruit in it, and I really like the sharpness from that grapefruit. They're obviously both quite tart fruits. And I really love sniffing this from the bottle. And I think I would adore this if I smelt it on someone else. But I still haven't entirely come to terms with whether I can wear it. But I also can't bear to let it go. So it's quite tricky because I do think it's absolutely lovely. And it's another affordable perfume. Like, not even really affordable at this point. This is actually what I would class as an excellent cheapie now. But the longevity, the strength, and just generally how unusual this is, because I've got one perfume here that I feel puts me in the same realm in a slightly softer way, but I've never actually smelled anything else that smells like Miami Glow, and I just think it's such incredibly good value. So yeah, I had to put it in here because I think that's one of the best value in terms of like a really strong fruity musk. Oh, speaking of good value, if you can get this for a bargain, and I got it for £20, which is outrageous because this is a Lalique perfume, and it is a Lalique perfume in a beautiful Lalique glass bottle. And they are obviously a glass making company, and they make such exquisite pieces of art that it's kind of crazy that I got the most beautiful perfume in the most beautiful bottle for about £20. If you're in the UK or Europe, check out Notino. They are the ones who often have this for a really good price. Or Makeup UK. When I first got this, I was like, oh, that's wild. It just smells like soap. And in a way, it does just smell a bit like soap, but like the fanciest soap you could imagine. I mean, look at the bottle. It's just beautiful. It's also really hard for me to ever quite decide on the best angle. I'm going to put it like that so you can see the etching. This is like actually etched into the glass. Fabulous. So I first got this when everyone else was saying it was super sexy, and I was like, I don't get it. It smells like soap. I just don't understand. And then I wore it when I accepted the fact that this smells like a really interesting soap to me, and not like a kind of amazing berry perfume in the way that I imagined it would. It's not at all jammy to me or anything, which is what I kind of expected. And everyone was saying it was really sexy, and I was like, I don't get it. I wore it knowing it was going to be soapy, absolutely fell head over heels in love with it for being a soapy perfume and not because I at all thought it was sexy. And then my husband smelled it on me and told me I smelled sexy. So there you go. Maybe the sexy vibe of this is because it makes women feel sexy because men think it smells sexy. And I do, for some reason, I cannot really explain why, beyond the fact that I think anyone who smells really clean does tend to smell sexy, if you see what I mean. I think it's sexy to be clean, unless, of course, you know someone quite well and you like the kind of muskiness, and then the kind of more animalic musks can smell real sexy. But I think just generally, you know, people smell lovely when they smell clean. And this is, it smells like a forest. It smells like a berry forest at night. That's how I'd describe this. So I guess there is something kind of midnighty about it. The notes listed on Fragrantica are blackcurrant, blackberry, blueberry, mulberry, big strawberry, middle notes of pepper, that looks like black pepper to me, peony, rose and ylang ylang. Base notes are musk, woody notes and bourbon vanilla. I mean, it's still quite hard for me to describe this one because I still haven't really smelled anything else that smells like it. I do know that the perfumer who made this one also made one of the Parfums de Marly, is it Meliora, that is supposed to smell like this, but I think slightly sweeter, more girly. But she made this one first, and then I guess she went on to make one that's £300 more expensive, but I actually prefer this bottle. I mean, no judgment if you like those bottles. They are really pretty, like princessy, but I just love this bottle. But this one, this smells like really watery, crisp, not overly ripe berries. So if you imagine like the big strawberry, if you imagine biting into that and it's sharp and not sweet, and it's very crunchy and white on the inside, it's that kind of berry fruit rather than the kind of squishy, sugary, overripe strawberry that you get in a lot of other perfumes. Things like Burberry Her, that kind of thing. It's a very different type of strawberry. And then blackberry, definitely. Blackcurrant, definitely. Although it's not quite as acidic as blackcurrant can be. Mulberry, definitely. And I sometimes I really get a blueberry vibe from this. And again, before you kind of cook down blueberries, if you just eat them, they're kind of watery, they're fresh. It's that kind of berry. And then you have what I think genuinely smells like basil. I really think there is a green herbaceousness here that is not accounted for in the note structure. I sometimes think the soapiness reminds me a bit of rosemary. It's super, super musky. You wouldn't necessarily know there was bourbon vanilla in this, but it doesn't really ever go too sharp or screechy for me. And then, yeah, I mean, maybe a bit of floralness that also adds to the soapiness. But generally, I think this smells like slightly underripe berries, still on the bush with the leaves and the even the woods, you know, even those twigs, all still on the branches, in a dark forest where there's also like a little herb garden nearby, you know. And if you think of all that and you think of going out to pick all of those when you've just washed your hands with an incredibly fancy white bar soap, that's what I think the amethyst smells like, which sounds wild, but it's so addictive once you fall in love with it. It lasts on me all day. And again, it's not got a massive scent bubble. I can smell it on myself all day. I've smelt someone wearing this before and I didn't realise she was wearing it until I got maybe like a metre away from her. And then I thought, oh my God, she smells so nice. And I was thinking, I know that. And I was like, oh God, that's amethyst. She's wearing amethyst. And it's so beautiful, really addictive, really special, incredibly affordable, and I think it's very classy smelling as well. I think it smells like a grown-up berry perfume. Oh wow, I'm going to have to speed up, aren't I? I won't be able to spend this long on everything. Okay, so this is the one that kind of reminds me a bit of the Jennifer Lopez perfume because it shares some of the same notes. But this also reminds me, weirdly, a little bit of Libre from YSL. So this is a very tall bottle, so I'm going to have to move this again. I'm up and down, up and down, up and down. This is Mambo by Liz Claiborne, another excellent cheapie. And this one, although it definitely has a really noticeable orange blossom in here that is like super, super recognisable to me because I'm quite fussy about orange blossom. It sometimes is a bit much for me, as it is in a lot of the Libre perfumes. But it's really nicely mixed in here with mandarin orange, and mango. So it's got this beautiful fruitiness along with a really soapy, musky kind of scent as well. My husband described this as a tangerine dream when he first smelt it. He thought it was, and he really likes this perfume. So this is top notes of mango, mandarin orange, and ylang ylang. Middle notes of orange blossom, ginger, and hibiscus. Base notes of sandalwood, musk, and vanilla. So this one is a little bit kind of rounder, less spiky, and less soapy than JLo Glow. It also doesn't last as long as, and it's definitely not as strong. But it is in that kind of same, area as that one. But this one I just like better, I think, is what it comes down to, because I think it's softer and easier to wear. But it's just so pretty. The notes are mango, mandarin orange, and ylang ylang. The middle notes are orange blossom, ginger, and hibiscus. The base notes are sandalwood, musk, and vanilla. The ginger gives this like a lovely warmth, and the hibiscus makes it smell slightly more tropical, as does the mango, to be fair. But the thing that it makes me think about with Libre is it has that same sort of really musky, slightly soapy, a little bit of that orangey smell, the real orange, quite strong orange blossom, a little bit of warmth from the ginger, and then a little bit of wood and vanilla. Libre Le Parfum is the one I'm thinking of, the one that's kind of a bit honeyed. So it's almost like this could be like a super summery flanker. It just feels like it's got a little bit, even though it's way older than Libre, this has been around for way longer. It just puts me in that headspace, but in a much easier, lighter, fruitier, more youthful feel, even though this does not at all smell childish. I don't know if I've ever really come across an orange blossom perfume that I think smells childish. I think there's just something slightly mature about orange blossom. But this one is less boss lady than something like Libre. This is just more playful, and it's just super pretty. But I think it's still, despite being fruity, it's still quite a nice grown up, proper ladylike scent. Just delicious. I really, really love this one. And it's also quite special to me because I bought it with a voucher that my sister gave me, so it makes me think of her when I wear it as well. All right, I've got the body spray of this and not the perfume. Reason being, Ariana Grande perfumes, the actual perfumes from Moonlight and, like the ones in the little round bottles with the puff. So all the perfumes since then have had some kind of aroma chemical in that smells like tar to me. But what I worked out, because I really loved Thank You Next, I worked out that the body sprays don't have that. And I think it's because that might be a fixant, like a chemical fixant. So there are a couple that I just got the body sprays of, so I don't have to deal with that smell, because I really love Thank You Next, but I also love God Is a Woman. So I have the body spray of this one, which, to be honest, like, the perfume isn't a huge amount stronger than this. So if you can get it and it's a better price and you don't mind having a massive bottle, then this is the one. So this is, I'm not sure people are crazy about this, and it's kind of typical that all the Ariana Grandes that I love are ones that other people aren't that bothered about. But I love God Is a Woman because I absolutely love the combination here of pear and ambrette. So the reason this one, though, is nicer to me than any other pear and ambrette that I've smelt is because it has a Turkish rose in it, and it doesn't have any other florals. So it has a very gentle, subtle rose, while also having a very juicy, lovely pear, and then a fluffy musk. And it's super girly, light, pretty. It's just really nice. I really enjoy wearing this perfume. It's actually one that I kind of crave, partly because I love a pear perfume, and also because I love a fruity musk. And I like a very subtle, gentle pink rose smell, I really like the smell of natural roses. Just rose petals, so beautiful. And I like that kind of very gentle rose far more than I like what I consider to be quite a perfumey, classic perfume rose. And this has that. It's really girly, it's quite youthful smelling, very juicy, yummy pear. I just really love it. So yeah, I think this is such a nice, like, fruity musk perfume. It's really, really nice. But yeah, people don't seem to like that one as much as I do, but I think it's great. Okay. Oh, so musky. So this is a real creamy musk. This is, again, I have to keep moving to go to match with whatever I've got here. So this is Jean by Lanvin. It's got this lovely like bit of ribbon stuck to the front. This is a blackberry and raspberry musk. There's a decent dose of freesia in here, so if you don't like freesia, this one might not work for you. But I do think of this as being my raspberry freesia musk. I can sense that there's blackberry in it. It definitely has a bit of a crossover with Falling in Love from Philosophy, but this one is slightly less kind of gourmand and more of a bar soapy smell. This one smells maybe a bit more mature, while also not at all smelling mature. But what I mean is it feels a bit less gourmand and there feels a little bit more like a perfume, you know. But this is so easy to wear. It's light, but it lasts on me for quite a long time. So again, it's another subtle princessy kind of scent that doesn't like, sorry, this is all over the place, but it doesn't overwhelm, but it doesn't disappear on me straight away. I think it's super, super pretty. So this is top notes of blackberry, pear and lemon, and I do get a bit of that pear as well. Really makes this very juicy. Middle notes of raspberry, peony, rose and freesia. Base notes musk, sandalwood and amber. I don't get any screechiness or dryness from the rose and the peony. I get a lot of creamy, lovely freesia. A huge dose of very beautiful bar soapy style Lanvin musk. Then a little bit of blackberry and pear. And a massive dose of delicious raspberry. So pretty. Yeah, this is another one that once you start spraying it on, you just want to go ham with it. It's super easy to wear. Another one that you can get for like crazy cheap prices. Really, really pretty. Absolutely delicious. I might actually have a look now and grab its sister. So, its sister scent. Oh, beautiful. So this, it has actually rubbed off, the bit at the front has rubbed off, but this is Lanvin and this is Modern Princess. So the thing with Modern Princess is that it magically has the same kind of soapy, yummy, bar soapy musk that you get in Jeanne. But this one is actually it's got the same freesia. It's got freesia and the musk, but this one has a lovely red apple. And this actually, it has a very slight perfumey smell, but this one actually starts leaning towards almost smelling gourmand because it's so creamy and delicious. And I'm very fussy about green apple, but I really like red apple in perfumes. And this is such a gentle, beautiful kind of rendition of a red apple. It doesn't smell like a Jolly Rancher or like a boiled sweet. It doesn't smell childish, but it is gentle and youthful and just so, so pretty. So the notes here are red apple and red currant, middle notes of freesia and jasmine, base notes vanilla orchid, musk, white musk, and white woods. I don't get lots of red currant in this. It's not at all, and I struggle with that because sometimes I find it so screechy and sharp, but perfectly rounded. It's sweet, but it's not sickly. Delicious musk. So, so yummy. And then a absolutely lovely, like crisp but not powdery and not dusty red apple. Like a really lovely, beautiful red apple. Just so good. Really, really like it. Another one that's super affordable. I think it's just a really, really good one. And it's definitely worth investing in the original Modern Princess. Let's go a little bit off-piste here, because have you ever thought of a fruity musk that's also a green perfume? I present you with Herbe from L'Occitane. Now this is a beauty. Oh, it's fresh. It's got a little bit of a kind of acidic sharpness in this one, but it's also got a honey note in it. It's got a green grassy vibe to it, but it's got quite a heavy, heavy musk. So this is a perfume that has a lot in common and smells quite similar to my old La Belle de Ricci. It's really got some crossovers with how that perfume smelt. But this one is more honeyed, it's a bit thicker, it's actually a bit stronger. And it's quite an unusual scent, but it's also very, very magical. So the top notes here are bergamot, pink pepper and musk mallow. So it's got ambrette right in the top notes. Middle notes are blackberry, nettle blossom, nettles, rosehip and clary sage. The base notes are grass, musk, honey, cashmerian, wheat and coumarin. This truly smells like a L'Occitane perfume. It really, really does. You can get that DNA. There's something about the honey when they use it in L'Occitane perfumes that's so beautiful. It gives this a slightly syrupy quality, despite the fact that it's a green perfume and it's musky and it's like fruity at the same time. So with this one, I definitely get a really lovely blackberry. I get a good dose of that bergamot because it does smell like there's a kind of slightly green citrusy smell. But then I get a decent amount of rosehip as well, which I've only had in certain circumstances, like as a syrup. And with the honey, it does have a slight syrupy vibe. But this one's also slightly herbaceous. Like I said, it's got grass, so it's a bit green. It's got the wheat, so it's like a crazy combination. But it's a really, really interesting fruity musk, this one, because it's a proper green fruity musk. I think it's really interesting. You can get this quite often easily on eBay if you want to save a bit of money. And yeah, it's a really beautiful perfume in a super cool bottle. Really, you can tell it's like en Provence, right? Beautiful. So, one of my favourites and one of my husband's favourites. This is a tester bottle, so it looks a little bit different when you see it at the proper bottle. But this is Guess Dare. This is an absolute winner of a fruity musk. So this is a really interesting fruity musk because it definitely has florals in it that I think smell like spring blossoms. They smell just like beautiful, lovely, almost like, yeah, like fruit blossoms, apple blossom, pear blossom, lemon blossom, that kind of thing. But it's got kumquat in it, which my husband also has a perfume with kumquat in it from the 4711 range. I think it's myrrh and kumquat. And this has exactly the same kumquat note from that one. And it's just a really beautiful, pretty, lovely, unusual fruit smell. Oh, but the musk, the musk is absolutely boss in this one. It's in charge of all the other notes. And it's the loveliest, creamiest musk. Definitely smells like a fancy bar soap. One step away from smelling like a super creamy conditioner, like a super creamy hair conditioner. It's so pretty. And the notes are kumquat, pear blossom and lemon blossom. Middle notes of cactus, jasmine and wild rose. Base notes, musk, coconut and woody notes. I don't think, this doesn't smell like coconut at all to me, but I think that's probably adding to why the musk feels so creamy in this. And then the pear blossom and lemon blossom with just a hint of rose. I get that maybe a bit more than the jasmine here. I don't really know what a cactus flower smells like, but there is something juicy and magical about this, even though it does have quite a dense musk. So I love this perfume. This is one of the perfumes that I actually have a backup bottle of. I just think it's so delicious. It's so easy to wear. It's actually really sexy, and I just think it's delicious. So last one coming up. I really struggled with whether to put this in my floral or my fruity, because I think it would be fair to say this is a fruity floral musk. But I think it's got so much of the sort of tangy, sweet, syrupy fruit mixed in here with a musk that is very strong and sexy that I just thought I'd just put it in this one. But to be honest, it could go in either. So this is an absolute queen of a perfume. This is Lolita Lempicka Le Parfum, and this is magical. So, I mean, it already looks magical from the bottle, doesn't it? This is definitely a violet perfume, but there's so much else going on in this that it doesn't just smell like a violet perfume at all, because it has a very heavy dose of a super yummy syrupy cherry. And it also has licorice, star anise, praline. It's got all kinds of things going on in this. But for me, it's cherry, violet, licorice and a really, really sexy musk. The Mon Premier version of this has even more cherry. It's got more cherry, more praline, and it's got less of the florals and less of the kind of spicy licorice and star anise. But it doesn't have as much of the musk, that's the thing. And I think what I love so much about this original version is that, and this, when I say original version, this is the modern incarnation of the original, which is the vegan formulation of the original Lolita Lempicka. So the musk in this is just so magical, and it just makes me feel like an absolute vixen when I wear it. There's a lot of cherry in this. I don't think you could ever kind of miss the fact that there's a really syrupy, delicious red cherry in here. I think it's one of the most dominant notes for sure. You definitely get a decent dose of violet, but I don't think it's more than the cherry, which is why I went for the fruity musk for this. It feels really random saying it because, this, like I said, it's such a well-rounded perfume. There's so many things in it. But it's just, there's something very magical about it. So the full set of notes from the original Lolita Lempicka is star anise, violet and ivy. Middle notes of licorice, cherry, iris, orris root and amaryllis. Base notes vanilla, praline, tonka bean, white musk and vetiver. But yeah, I mean this, I don't know what this musk is. I don't know why it's so sexy, but it really is. My husband really likes this. I absolutely love wearing it. I just think it's glorious. And I did really love Mon Premier as well. But the thing is with that one, it just makes me want to wear this one. Like when I wear Mon Premier, I just want to wear this one. So that's one I'm just might as well declutter because this is the one that I want to reach for. And it is just the smell of a sexy queen of the fairies. That's what this is. It's just absolutely stunning. And yeah, it's really got a killer musk in it. So if you like cherry and you like violet and you like musk, if you're also cool with like licorice, which in this you should be because it smells amazing, then you'd be mad not to try Lolita Lempicka Le Parfum. I think it's absolutely gorgeous. So yeah, that is it for my musk series. I hope you enjoyed these videos. If you've got any good, really fruity musks you want to mention, please put them down below in the comments so we can all see them. Thank you so much for watching my videos. If you haven't seen the other musk ones, just go and look back. I've been doing them maybe like every other week for the past few weeks. Please do subscribe if you're not already. It really, really helps me out if you like watching my videos for you to be an actual subscriber. And thank you again for watching. I hope you all smell fabulously musky in whatever kind of musk that you love. Bye guys.